2012 to 2017 career setbacks. In 2013, Cage was involved in many projects, notable films including animated film The Croods, in which he voiced a character named Grug Crude. The Croods received positive reviews from critics and was a box office success, grossing $585 million against a budget of $135 million. He starred as main character in The Frozen Ground, a thriller crime drama film directed and written by Scott Walker in his directorial debut, based on the crimes of real-life Alaskan serial killer Robert Hansen. The film reunited him with Cusack, depicts an Alaskan state trooper, played by Cage, seeking to apprehend Hansen, played by Cusack by partnering with a young woman who escaped from Hansen's clutches. The film has received mixed reviews, though Cage's performance was cited as a highlight in Solid. He also starred in Joe, an independent crime drama film directed and co-produced by David Gordon Green, adaptation from Larry Brown's 1991 novel of the same name. In this film, Nicolas Cage is a tormented man who hires a 15-year-old boy, played by Ty Sheridan, and protects him from his abusive father. The film premiered at the 70th Venice International Film Festival on August 30th, 2013, with a subsequent screening at the 2013 Toronto International Film Festival. It was a box office flop, grossing only $2.36 million from a $4 million budget, but received critical acclaim from critics who praised Cage's performance and Green's direction. The 2016 black comedy Dog Eat Dog, Cage's second film with Paul Schrader, reunited him with Willem Dafoe after Wild at Heart as a pair of ex-convicts hired to kidnap a baby. 98. The film had its premiere as the closing entry for the director's Fortnight section at the 2016 Cannes Film Festival on May 20th, 2016. It was released on November 4th, 2016 in the United States. Peter Bradshaw of The Guardian gave the film 4 out of 5 stars, writing, "It's the right director for the right project, and the result is Schrader's best for years, a Larry, nasty, tasty crime thriller built on black comic chaos." Todd McCarthy of The Hollywood Reporter wrote, "A rare film to have been shot in Cleveland. Dog Eat Dog Eat Dog definitely looks like it was shot on the cheap, but puts what it needs to up on the screen with vigor and wit." Cage starred alongside Selma Blair and Ann Winters in Brian Taylor's horror comedy film Mom and Dad, which premiered in the Midnight Madness section at the 2017 Toronto International Film Festival. It was released in theaters on January 19, 2018, and received positive reviews from critics, with review aggregator Rotten Tomatoes defining his performance as over the top. Director John Waters appreciated the film, naming Mom and Dad as one of the best movies of 2018, placing it fourth on his personal top list. 2018 present critical resurgence. In 2018, Cage starred in the action thriller film Mandy, which premiered on January 19th at the 2018 Sundance Film Festival. Nick Allen of RogerBert.com praised the movie, writing that for all of the endless feral performances that Cage has given in movies good, bad, and forgettable, Cosmato-style-driven, 80s-tastic passion for weird worlds and characters takes full advantage of Cage's greatness, and then some. In October, Mandy's producer Elijah Wood announced his intention to size up an Oscar campaign for Nicolas Cage and for composer Johan Johansson, who died in February of that year, but the film was disqualified because it was also released on video on demand on September 14th. Later that year, Cage voiced Clark Kent Superman in the animated film Teen Titans Go. To the movies, he had originally been slated to portray Superman in Tim Burton's canceled Superman film, Superman Lives, in the 1990s. He voiced an alternate monochromatic 1930s universe version of Peter Parker Spider-Man Noir in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse 2018. Cage based his vocal performance on films of Humphrey Bogart, James Cagney, and Edward G. Robinson. On January 28, 2019, Victor and Irina Yelchin premiered a documentary about their son Anton Yelchin, Love, and Tosha, at the 2019 Sundance Film Festival. The documentary was directed by Garrett Price and contains various interviews with some of Anton's friends and collaborators such as Kristen Stewart, J.J. Abrams, Chris Pine, Jennifer Lawrence, Jodie Foster, John Cho, and Martin Landau. Cage starred as the narrator of the film, reading various Anton's writings. In December 2018, it was announced that Cage had signed to play the lead role for Richard Stanley's Color Out of Space, based on the short story The Color Out of Space by H.P. Lovecraft. This was Stanley's first feature film directed since his firing from the island of Dr. Moreau, 1996. Color Out of Space premiered on September 7, 2019, in the Midnight Madness portion of the 2019 Toronto International Film Festival, where Cage was awarded for his role with the Creative Coalition's Spotlight Initiative Award. Following select preview screenings on January 22nd, the film was released in 81 theaters in the United States on January 24, 2020. In December 2018, it was announced that Sano was working on his first overseas production and English-language debut, Prisoners of the Ghostland, starring Nicolas Cage. Cage said the film might be the wildest movie I've ever made. Its plot revolves around a notorious criminal hero played by Cage, who is sent to rescue the governor's adopted granddaughter, who has disappeared into a dark region called Ghostland. The film had its world premiere at the 2021 Sundance Film Festival on January 31, 2021. In May 2020, it was announced that Cage would be playing the role of Joe Exotic in a scripted 8-episode Tiger King series, written and executive produced by Dan Lagana. It was announced that the project was scrapped in July 2021. In 2013, it was confirmed that Nicolas Cage would reprise his role as Grug in The Croods: A New Age, which was released in 2020. Cage produced and starred in the 2021 film Pig, where he plays Robin Robfeld, a former chef-turned-reclusive truffle forager who must return to his past in Portland in search of his beloved foraging pig after she is kidnapped. Cage received critical acclaim for his performance and earned a second nomination for the Critics' Choice Movie Award for Best Actor. He gained further acclaim for portraying a fictionalized version of himself in the 2022 action comedy film The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, as well as for his portrayal of Paul, a professor who begins appearing in the dreams of others in the 2023 Dream scenario, resulting in his 5th Golden Globe nomination. In the 2023 horror comedy film Renfield, inspired by the 1897 Bram Stoker novel Dracula, Cage portrays Dracula opposite Nicholas Holt's Renfield. Also in 2023, Cage was included as a playable character in the horror video game Dead by Daylight. Cage reprised his role as Clark Kent Superman in the 2023 film The Flash in a cameo appearance as an alternate version of the superhero. Cage shot his scenes through volumetric capture and CGI was used to de-age him. In early 2023, it was announced Cage was set to play a live-action version of Peter Parker's Spider-Man Noir on Amazon Prime Video. The show would take place in an alternate 1930s New York City. In July 2024, the show was confirmed to be titled Spider Noir. Filming began in September 2024 in Los Angeles. Also in July, Cage starred as the titular serial killer in the horror thriller film Longlegs, which he produced. Acting style and reception. Ghost Rider's Spirit of Vengeance is a display of how the nouveau shamanic method transcribes to the screen with impulse decisions fueled by an energy one could only garner naturally. Cage was asked if any of his numerous pets influence his acting, to which he replied, "The cobras, definitely. They would try to hypnotize you by going side to side, and when I did Ghost Rider's Spirit of Vengeance, that's something my character does before he attacks. Animals are fun places to get inspiration." Reception. In Cage's hands. Cartoonish moments are imbued with real emotion and real emotions become cartoons. Everything from individual scenes down to single lines of dialogue feel like they have been embraced as opportunities for creation. Cage is usually interesting even when his films are not. He is erratic and unpredictable. He is captivating and he is capricious. He is a performer. He is a troubadour. He is a jazz musician. Luke Buckmaster, The Guardian. According to The Guardian film critic Luke Buckmaster, any casual observer can see that Cage is entertaining, charismatic, and wildly flamboyant, attributing it partly to the well-cultured background of Cage's family. Buckmaster said the actor is clearly attracted to grotesque characters and is celebrated for his wild and unhinged approach to them. He has the presence of a leading man and the eccentricities of a character actor. Actor Ethan Hawke stated in 2013 that Cage is the only actor since Marlon Brando that's actually done anything new with the art, crediting him for taking film audiences away from an obsession with naturalism into a kind of presentation style of acting that I imagine was popular with the old troubadours. Film director David Lynch described him as the jazz musician of American acting. Many critics have accused Cage of overacting. Others, including Cage himself, have described his intentionally extreme performances as mega-dash acting. After the actor's series of mainstream marketed thriller films during the late 1990s, Sean Pennsylvania told the New York Times in 1999 that Cage was no longer an actor, but more like a performer. Despite this, in his speech after winning the Oscar for his performance in Mystic River, Penn described Cage's work in Matchstick Men as one of the best performances of 2003.